First and foremost, thank you guys for making us out today for the event. Hope we have a good conversation. My name is Preston Davis. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing for Trulieve Cannabis Corp. Pleasure to be here to sit across from Roz. I'll start with a quick story.
Come on, talk that story.
When I first had the introduction that we were taking on another cannabis company called Black Buddha, the name stood out to me more than anything. You could tell from the very first conversation, Roz was passionate. I just recently learned she was a marketer. Didn't know, but makes sense now. Passionate about the brand. She never missed a call. She'll take it on the phone when she's traveling. So you can tell that's somebody you want to partner with that cares about their brand just as much as we do as a company. So thank y'all for coming out. Let's get right to it.
So hi everybody, Roz McCarthy here. Hi. So I am the founder and the CEO of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. Next year we celebrate our 10-year anniversary. It started with the advocacy. That is how I got into the industry. I started that organization because my son has sickle cell anemia. And at that time, there was not a bridge to the minority community from a healthcare perspective. I felt like it was time for us to have a conversation and not be in the shame about how cannabis can make us feel better. My son got off of Dilaudid, he got off of morphine, he got off of all that crap because he started utilizing cannabis to help him with his pain management.
Wow.
Sickle cell is our community. It is our people, it is our moms, it is our dads, it's our cousins, it's our aunties, it's our uncles. We have a responsibility to make sure that we connect the dots as to why cannabis can be such a great support for those patients. And then in 2022, I ended up being in a car accident and I suffered a traumatic brain injury. And literally, when I tell you I lost my brain, be careful. You have no idea how important your brain is to you. We take it for granted. The ability to process, the ability to think, the ability to go to sleep, the ability to do multiple things at one time. Imagine if that's taken away from you. Imagine if you can't do the things that you do that's just automatic. And that's what happened with me when I was with this car accident. I had these moments of syncope where I kept passing out. I literally would pass out. I passed out over lunch. I passed out at the chiropractor, and that's how I got the diagnosis. Had it not been for this kind soul named Nicole Buffon, who came and she moved in with me. She took care of me because my kids were off to college. She brought cannabis into my life from a personal aspect. She brought CBD, and she taught me how to self-meditate and how to bring healing into my life and speaking it. If you guys don't know, once I did my research, Buddha means enlightenment.
Yes.
And for me, it was an enlightened time for me to understand that I've been actively advocating for everyone else from their wellness, but cannabis is what changed my life, and I got enlightened, and I wanted to create a brand that spoke to women of color. I was proudly, as a proud black woman, I kind of started looking and thinking about, okay, what does this look like? And I said, Black Buddha. And when I tell you that there's more people that are not black that resonate to this brand, it is a brand that speaks to wellness, it speaks to community, it speaks to love, it speaks to being able to feel better, get better, do better. And I'm proud, so proud to say that we're in 5 states right now.
Woo!
We're in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arizona, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. And so tonight, this afternoon, I want to talk with you. You'll be hearing from Preston and I as we talk about the highs and the lows of how do you create partnership. This is a way to get into the industry and not have to own the asset of a cultivation farm, of a manufacturing processing facility. This partnership that we created together created the space to have Black Buddha in every dispensary that's in Pennsylvania, and it's only the medical side. Just wait till the adult use legalization happens. So, Preston, I'm gonna pass this back over to you and let's talk. Yep.
First question up, I know from my perspective, when we first had the connection to bring the brand to Pennsylvania, I would love to hear from your standpoint, your point of view, what were your thoughts? What was it like, I guess, partnering with the multi-state operator in a state like Pennsylvania?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we were in Pennsylvania when we first started. So literally I created the logo and worked with someone, and then I created the website, and I saw the concept, and then I made some business cards, right? And I went to MJ Biz. I went to MJ BizCon in Las Vegas. And the last day of Las Vegas, I literally walked around getting everybody's card and saying, hi, I'm Roz with Black Buddha Cannabis. No one ever heard of it. I didn't have not a product. I didn't know what state I was in. No state. I didn't have nothing but a business card, a t-shirt with my logo on it, and my mouthpiece. And I went around meeting people. And one of the young ladies, she's the editor, Pamela Moore. She was the editor. She stopped me. She said, Roz, what are you doing? And I told her about the brand. I told her about the situation of me passing out. And she said, wow, we got to talk about this. And they did a story. So fast forward, about 5 months later, an individual who used to work for Trulieve calls me. She's with Tilt now. Tilt is in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. Tilt, we started having conversations, and basically I entered into an agreement with Tilt to start. Tilt brings me into Massachusetts, brings me into Pennsylvania, but 6 months later, gives us a phone call and says, we're offboarding you. What that means is, you're getting kicked out. It was Heisman, so I don't know if you guys know Ricky Williams with Heisman, as well as Your Highness, which is out of New York, and it was my brand. So it was all these diverse brands, and literally their internal staff said, we're gonna offboard these brands and you're out. So coming into Pennsylvania really for me was a second redemption of coming in with Trulieve. And we have to get past this whole MSO versus little people. There is an opportunity to be able to come into a market and come in on the high end and be able to work with that processor partner, no matter if they're a corporation or not, because it had to go both ways. Not only was I interested in them, but they were interested in me.
Come on.
Right? I brought value
What
to
you're
them
seeking is
as
seeking
much
you.
as they were bringing value to me. So when you're on par in regards to the relationship, and it is a relationship, it ain't no one-off. It is they need me, but I need them. And if you can be able to articulate how the value that you can bring to them in that market and what you can do together, the conversation is on par so that you both create a win-win opportunity.
1,000%. Let's take it here. So as far as we've been in partnership now for almost a year with the company and brands, I guess, can you talk about the struggles from going small to a larger scale and certain things that people don't think about when creating a brand and what hurdles you might see that people don't consider?
Yeah. So I will tell you this, when you guys go and you see a corporation and you go, you know what, I may want to do business with you, just come correct. The first thing you have to do is establish that business etiquette with the corporation so that you make sure that you guys are seeing eye to eye, that you may not agree on everything, but you are having your facts, your figures, you know your business, you know the market. I think when we're when we're on our conference calls, and you mentioned to start out with, like Roz was there, she was on time, you as the brand owner, you can't give somebody else the responsibility to do it. You gotta be there. You gotta be the one that they're seeing. You gotta be like, get them to say, okay, yes, Roz, we want to do an agreement, do a partnership with you. That ain't nothing. It's once the work begins, once you sign that, and then now you're having these weekly phone calls. You can't show up late. You can't show up half-cocked, not having your stuff together. You also have to be able to articulate where you want your brand to go, and then foresee, and sometimes you can't foresee the challenges that happen, but be ready to pivot. Be ready to come up with ideas. And so I think preparation is key. If you're not prepared for the journey, don't take the journey yet. Don't do it. Stop, because the way that I looked at it is that I had an opportunity, and the thing about it was they knew that Black Buddha could sell well in Pennsylvania because we saw it with Tilt, right? But for me, I also had anxiety, to be honest with you, because I had a big multi-state operator who basically offboarded me, and we were growing in numbers for no reason, right? Honestly, you may say, you know what? I'm not doing this again. I'll just, I'll either find a smaller player, or maybe I'm not going to trust a corporation. But for me, the window of opportunity is important. The first and foremost is that I know my brand, Black Buddha, what I'm building, why I'm building, what's my exit plan, where do I want to go, and that's not the same for everybody. I'm a 55-year-old woman, an empty nester, who knows that here's where I am, but I'm not here for the next 30 years. That's not my ministry. But I'm creating a brand, I'm creating a business, I'm leaving a legacy for my children. My pathway to generational wealth may not be the same pathway. You got to understand what your pathway is and then be able to fill it in with the support team to get you there. And so it made me say, you know what, I'm going to trust this relationship again. I'm going to trust corporate, small, anybody in this room. If Walmart called you today and told you we got 25 stores in Pennsylvania, we want to bring your product in, who gonna say no? Who gonna say no? So when people look at me crazy and be like, oh, you work with Trulieve, yes I do. It has been a relationship that has been a win-win on both sides of the ball, of the field. And that's where, you know, and do we always align on certain things? No, but it's not an alignment. Sometimes it's a timing thing. You also have to understand that the corporation has, like my mom used to tell me, Roz, it's not always just about you. And I'm learning that in this in this cannabis business, that sometimes I may want this, but it may not be aligned to the big business that I'm not even privy to. And you know it. You just told me about how you're doing your budgeting and everything else. Yeah. Like, it's a bigger fish. Like, I'm a small fish in a big pond, but not disrespected. There is a level of respect that's given and supported that I understand, and I'm able to navigate through the ups and downs.
Right. So my next question is, I believe going by the process is greater than the reward. Let me explain what that means.
Come on, run that back again.
The process is greater than the reward. So while you're chasing that champagne flute, the journey you'll remember when you sip that glass of champagne. And I bring that up to say, of course you put in your vision board, multi-state operator, want to make the partnership. But what's some things during that journey that you were able to hone on to and look back on now to apply to what you're doing?
So I think my vision board for me, like, I wasn't writing things down as much.
I hope y'all can feel the passion from that. And to be fully candid and transparent, we just had a meeting in the back of here a few minutes when we came on stage. It wasn't on purpose. We just started talking, and all of a sudden ideas started flowing. Monday we're going to execute. So wherever you're at, that's your office. Have the ideas, don't be scared to have the conversations. Some uncomfortable, some not, but get creative. Wherever you're at, you're here now, network, get a name, meet somebody, have that conversation. So we have a few more minutes left. I would love to say, where is Black Buddha in 5 years?
Oh man, in 5 years, so this is where we are. And within 5 years, we're gonna get that Series A round of investment of that $1.5 to $2 million. That's gonna put us in a position so that we can go into another 3 to 5 states. We already have them lined up. Black Buddha is such a labor of love. It is a brand that speaks love and it speaks like just community. If people want, it doesn't matter if it's a man, if it's a woman, if it's whatever ethnic background you are, people walk into the store and when I share with them Black Buddha, they buy it. And I don't even have to sell it. I just go to the kiosk and say, let me show you, boom, 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 boom. The biggest thing is that the partnership, that what they produce for me, I'm able to work with those cultivators and pick out that cultivar, pick out that strain that really speaks to my product, and it makes it authentic. It's what my business is called asset light. Asset light means I don't own the cultivation farm, I don't own the processing plant, none of that. I go into a partnership with an entity that there's a lot of trust. The trust is that Roz is going to market her brand and help us grow that brand. The trust here is that you're going to produce great flower so that when people get past Black Buddha, they're like, oh man, this is a great product. And that's what's happening state by state by state. So we're now in 5 states. In 5 years from now, I see us being in 5 more states. And in another 2.5 years after that, I see some type of acquisition happening where, think about what happened with some of your Carol's daughter, some of these brands that we've seen on the hair side, that you had these really powerful, visionary Black women that created something. And then there is, Business 101 tells you that it takes money to make money. I don't care how much you're growing in revenue. I don't care what your P&L statement says. In order to fuel your growth, where you're having double-digit growth, where you are in a multi-million-dollar, you're in a seven-figure type of revenue-generating brand, it takes money to make that happen. And so no matter where you are in the process, always look out for particular partnerships. Let me tell you what's going to happen in the next 7 years. And I just had a conversation, right? There's going to be companies that want to buy your company or want to partner with you that don't really care about cannabis. What they care about is you touch a consumer that they want, and they're going to want to be able to partner with you to be able to tap that consumer for maybe insurance. I don't know what it's going to be. There's going to be a collaboration that you've never even imagined, that they could care two things about the fact that you're selling weed. They want your customer. They want your customer resonates with you, but that customer will produce revenue out the window for this particular partner over here. So in order for us to be positioned for the unlikely partnerships, we have to create brand awareness, we have to create community, and build your database. So one thing that I've been working on is improving my data analytics. So here in Pennsylvania, as I'm partnered with Trulieve, how do I work with Preston to make sure that when customers are buying Black Buddha, I want to own that customer. I just don't want Trulieve to own it. And Trulieve is not saying, Roz, you can't own it, but I got to come up with the ideas of how do I also own that customer, because once I have them in, they're my customer. And the power of social media, man, there's been some markets that social media with only 600 and maybe 50 people that like our page, that I've seen our sales just escalate. It doesn't take much. You don't need 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 500,000 people in order to get eyeballs and get people to buy into your brand. And so that's where I anticipate 7 years from now, there will be an acquisition of Black Buddha. Don't be like, well, Roz will sell out. That's supposed to be, no, Roz is a smart businesswoman. Because what Roz going to do is spend that money, get that money. She's going to invest in your dream. She's going to invest in your vision. She's going to help you fuel what you're doing. And you ain't got to go beg nobody to do what you want to get done. Because I'm going to see you, and I'm going to have the money to be able to invest into you and support what you're doing. And then Rod's going to be over in the Bahamas somewhere with her feet kicked up watching you grow your business.
We in church. This ain't Sunday. Free.
It's higher conference. It's just overtime.
But
We're about to take over the questions, but let me call out one. Everybody here tonight will get a card. It's for $5 off for you to experience Black Buddha. It's Trulieve, not far from here. Wherever you want to go to, sure, but experience Black Buddha, and we'll make sure everybody here gets a card. We have a few times before we wrap up for questions. Is there any questions for myself? Here we go.
My question for you is, you guys will go back to Black Buddha. I know that